Islam, the second most practiced religion on earth, emerges in the 7th century, from what many at the time consider a backwater, the desert region of Arabia. The founder of Islam is Muhammad, a merchant born around 570 in the city of Mecca. In about 610, in the cave of Hira, he receives a series of revelations from the angel Jibril, known in English as Gabriel. These revelations later become the basis of the holy book known as the Quran. Before we continue, please subscribe to Civic Lens and let's keep breathing life into stories that were never meant to stay silent. Now, let's continue. The spiritual truth of Muhammad's message is a matter of faith. But his life, and the impact of his message, are to have profound historical significance. At first, Muhammad preaches privately to a select group of family and friends in Mecca. His message centers on the oneness of God, the need for moral reform, and the concept of Islam. Submission to God. In time, the followers of this new faith will be known as Muslims. Muhammad then begins to preach in public, and gains loyal followers known as the Sahaba. Muhammad's preaching brings him into conflict with members of his own tribe, the Quraysh. The two sides are soon in open war. Around this time, the concept of jihad begins to take shape. Jihad comes to have two meanings. The first, to strive to live in accordance with God's will, through personal effort and moral integrity. The second, physical acts of war, sanctioned by God. After years of conflict with the Quraysh, Muhammad and his followers prevailed. And by Muhammad's death in 632, much of Arabia has joined the movement he founded. One of Muhammad's closest companions, Abu Bakr, is chosen as the first caliph, or successor to the Prophet. It is under his leadership, and that of his successors, that Islam will erupt out of Arabia, to transform the Middle East and beyond. Abu Bakr, and his successor Umar, send Arab armies to attack the two great powers of the age, the Sasanian Empire, and Eastern Roman Empire. Both are worn down by decades of conflict against each other, and Arab armies strike like a thunderbolt. One by one, the great cities of the Levant, Syria, Egypt and Persia fall to Muslim forces. The people who live in these lands are predominantly a mix of Christians, Jews and Zoroastrians. These non-believers are treated as subjects by their new Arab rulers, and pay taxes to them. But they can worship freely. There are few forced conversions, and little active preaching of Islam. And so the religion spreads slowly at first. Until now, the Quran has been primarily an oral tradition, supported by various written compilations. The exact circumstances are not clear, but during the reign of Caliph Uthman, the Quran is organized into a single text. This remains the basis for the holy book used around the world today. In 656, Uthman is murdered. The Prophet's cousin and son-in-law, Ali, is elected the new caliph. But others support Uthman's cousin, the governor of Syria, Muawiyah. This conflict triggers Islam's first fitna, or civil war. It is the root of the later division between Shiite and Sunni Muslims. Shi'at. From Shi'at Ali, the party of Ali. Sunni, from al-Sunnah, the people of the Prophet's way. In 661, Ali is assassinated by a group who become known as the Khawarij. The Umayyad dynasty seized power, moving the capital of the caliphate to Damascus. In 680, a rebellion by Ali's son Husayn ends at Karbala, when he and his small band of followers are massacred by Umayyad forces. It is a key moment in the transformation of Shi'ism from political movement to a distinct branch of Islam. Shi'is will look to the leadership of Muhammad's direct descendants, Sunnis will look back to the time of the Prophet and his companions. The Islamic world, riven by warring factions, plunges into a second fitna. But after 12 years of civil war and turmoil, great new conquests will follow. By 692, the Umayyads regained control of the Islamic Caliphate, and resumed their conquest of North Africa. Islam spreads quickly among the Berber tribes. And it is a Berber convert, Tariq, who leads Umayyad forces into Iberia. En route, he gives his name to Jabal Tariq, the Rock of Gibraltar. He defeats the Visigoth king, Roderick, and goes on to conquer much of Spain. The Umayyad Empire now stretches from the Atlantic coast to modern Pakistan. Most of its population remains non-Muslim. But there are now a growing number of converts across North Africa, Persia and Central Asia, known as Moali. They are treated as inferiors by the Arab elite, stoking resentment. And in 747, rebellion erupts in Khorasan. The Abbasid family, claiming descent from the Prophet's uncle Abbas, claim leadership of this revolt. In 750, they defeat the Umayyads at the Zab River, then systematically wipe out almost the entire dynasty. Only one Umayyad prince, Abd al-Rahman, escapes to Al-Andalus, where he establishes the independent emirate of Córdoba in 756. The Abbasids build a new capital, Baghdad, which becomes a great center of learning. This is the dawn of what is often called Islam's Golden Age, with remarkable advances in mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and engineering. Shi'ism, now a fully distinct branch of Islam, continues to spread across the caliphate, despite sporadic repression by its Sunni rulers. Sects emerge within Shi'ism, including Twelver Shi'ism, Ismaili Shi'ism and Zaydi Shi'ism. Sufi movements, which focus on inner spirituality and detachment from worldly distractions, also emerge in this period, though their early history is uncertain. By the 900s, much of Persia, Egypt, and Syria has turned to Islam. There are practical, as well as spiritual, benefits from becoming Muslim. Adopting the faith of the ruling elite offers advantages in business, networking and status. But these regions still remain religiously diverse, with large Christian and Jewish communities, as well as several smaller sections. For many years, Muslim traders have been crossing the semi-arid region known as the Sahel, into sub-Saharan Africa. Among their purchases, enslaved Africans, to be sold across the caliphate. Following these trade routes, Islam gradually spread south. In time, as rulers and elites adopt Islam, cities like Timbuktu, Gao, and Kano will become centers of Islamic learning and culture. Muslim merchants also crossed the Arabian Sea, and established trading hubs along the East African coast, in modern Kenya, Tanzania, and Zanzibar. These ports become centers of commerce, connecting East Africa to a wider Indian Ocean trading zone. Such complex, long-range commercial networks, of which the famous Silk Roads are also part, help Islam to spread deeper into Central, South and Southeast Asia. In Central Asia, a semi-nomadic Turkic tribe called the Seljuks converts to Islam, under the guidance of their leader Seljuk Beg. The Seljuks carve out their own empire across the Middle East, conquering city after city. In 1055 they capture Baghdad, becoming de facto rulers of the Islamic Caliphate. Under the Seljuks, Islamic political power and religious authority are separated. Seljuk sultans hold military and political power. Religious leadership is provided by the caliphs and Islamic scholars, known as ulama. In 1071, Seljuk Sultan Alp Arslan defeats the Byzantine Empire at Manzikert, paving the way for Muslim conquest of Anatolia. But Christendom strikes back. Pope Urban calls for a holy war to liberate the Holy Land, and in 1099, Crusaders storm Jerusalem. Crusader states are established in the region, but remain areas of mixed faith. It is a period of political fragmentation in the Muslim world. Much of the old empire is now ruled by regional dynasties and sects. Seljuks, Ghaznavids, Almoravids, and Fatimids. But in the 12th century a Kurdish general known as Saladin succeeds in uniting Egypt, Syria, and Iraq. In 1187, he recaptures Jerusalem, a prestigious victory for Saladin and a turning point in the war against the Crusaders. Since the 8th century, Muslim merchants and Sufi mystics have traveled the Silk Roads, deep into Central and Eastern Asia. The number of converts to Islam grows steadily. Among them, Berk Khan, grandson of Mongol conqueror Chinggis Khan. Berk is said to have encountered a caravan of Muslim merchants at Bukhara, and been persuaded by their piety. For now, most Mongols remain loyal to their animist beliefs. In 1258, Berk's cousin Hulagu launches a devastating campaign against Muslim lands that leads to the destruction of Baghdad and execution of the caliph. But with time, Muslim faith and culture will conquer the Mongols. Within a century, 3 of the largest Mongol khanates, from Russia to India, take Islam as their new religion. In Southeast Asia, centuries of contact with Muslim traders is also accelerating the spread of Islam. Around 1267, on the island of Sumatra, the Samudra Pasai Sultanate is founded, which becomes a center of Islamic learning and trade. During this period, a new Sufi order emerges in the Sultanate of Rum, the Mevlevi order, who become famous for their whirling dervish ritual, seek spiritual enlightenment, and gain steadily in popularity. The 14th century sees rival dynasties vying for control in the Muslim heartlands. The Mamluks in Egypt, the Ilkhanate in Persia, and the many Turkic states of Anatolia, of which one will soon emerge as perhaps the greatest Muslim empire of them all. The 1300s see the dawn of a mighty new Muslim empire. Osman I rules a small Turkic state in northwest Anatolia. Through a series of stunning conquests, his successors forged the Ottoman Empire, in modern Turkey. The Ottomans later advance into the Balkans, conquering Bulgaria, Serbia and Bosnia. Over time, many locals convert to Islam, attracted by economic benefits, legal privileges, and roles in Ottoman government. In 1453 Sultan Mehmed II conquers Constantinople. The former heart of the Eastern Roman Empire, and of Orthodox Christianity, becomes an Islamic, Ottoman capital. In Southeast Asia, Islam's influence continues to alter the religious landscape. The ruler of Malacca converts in 1414. He takes the title Sultan Iskandar Shah, and makes Islam the state religion. Through commerce and alliances, the new sultanate helps Islam to spread further in the region. In 1478, the Demak Sultanate emerges as the first major Muslim state in Java. Meanwhile, in Europe, Granada, the last Muslim stronghold in Iberia, falls to Christian forces in 1492. It marks the end of almost 8 centuries of Muslim rule in Spain. Spanish Muslims, and Jews, face forced conversion to Catholicism, and, ultimately, expulsion. In 1501, Shah Ismail I conquers Persia. He is the founder of the Safavid dynasty, and declares Twelver Shirism the new state religion. It is why today, Iran is an overwhelmingly Shia country. In 1517 Ottoman Sultan Selim I conquers Egypt, and the Hijaz. He now controls Islam's 2 holiest sites, at Mecca and Medina, and declares himself the new caliph. The title will be held by Ottoman sultans for the next 400 years. In 1526 Babur, a descendant of Chinggis Khan, defeats the Delhi Sultanate. He lays the foundations of the Muslim Mughal Empire, that will rule over much of India, and its Hindu majority, for the next 2 centuries. But elsewhere, there are signs that Muslim power is beginning to wane. The Russians defeat the Khanates of Kazan, Astrakhan and Sibir. While Ottoman naval power suffers a first major check at the Battle of Lepanto. The high water mark of Ottoman expansion comes a century later, at the failed siege of Vienna. From around this point on, the 2 great Muslim empires, the Ottoman and Mughal, find themselves increasingly challenged by internal divisions and external foes. In 18th century Arabia, the reformist Wahhabi movement is born, characterized by suspicion of many traditional Islamic beliefs and practices. It acquires political influence through alliance with the Al Saud family, rulers of the first Saudi state. The 19th century is an age of rampant European colonialism. Its targets include several Muslim countries, such as Algeria, Libya, Egypt and Sudan. In several places, Islam becomes a powerful aspect of resistance to Christian colonizers. The colonial experience leaves deep scars on the Muslim world, but it also plants seeds of resistance. Out of this turmoil emerges Salafism, a fundamentalist movement that looks backward to move forward, seeking to reclaim the purity of Islam's earliest days. For some believers, this becomes more than spiritual revival. They take up arms, launching jihad against what they see as foreign occupiers and the oppression of Muslim peoples. Meanwhile, in the ruins of World War I, Turkey's story takes a dramatic turn. Kemal Ataturk envisions something radical for his time, a modern, secular Turkish state. In 1924, he makes a stunning decision. He abolishes the Ottoman Caliphate, ending a 400-year tradition of Turkish rulers claiming leadership over the Islamic world. It's a watershed moment that sends shockwaves through Muslim communities everywhere. The 20th century doesn't stop there. World wars reshape borders, communist revolutions challenge old certainties, and colonized nations fight their way to independence. Each upheaval redraws the political landscape of the Muslim world, leaving communities to navigate a fundamentally transformed reality. In August 1945, Indonesia declares independence from Dutch colonial rule. It becomes home to the world's largest Muslim population. As the British Empire recedes, it leaves behind new divisions. In 1947, the partition of India creates the Muslim-majority states of West and East Pakistan, which later becomes Bangladesh. In 1948, the new Jewish state of Israel is founded in what had been British Mandate Palestine. In 1979, the Iranian Revolution overthrows the Shah, and establishes a Shia Islamic Republic, led by Ayatollah Khomeini. In the late 20th century, historic colonial ties and economic migration lead to the growth of Muslim communities across Western Europe and North America. Muslims become an integral part of the Western cultural landscape. Just as on the global stage, dangerous new tensions emerged. In 2001, a militant Islamic network called Al-Qaeda attacks the Twin Towers in New York. Suddenly, across much of the West, Islam is seen as a threat, vilified by some media and politicians. A gulf grows between how most Muslims see their faith, and some perceptions in the West. Tensions between religious and political extremists persist in the West to the present day. There have also been serious conflicts between the state and some Muslim groups in Russia, Myanmar, ongoing persecution in China, and an escalating conflict in Israel/Palestine. These are not the first crises in Islam's 1,400-year history, a period in which the religion has shown incredible endurance and adaptability. Carried by traders and conquerors, it has traveled to distant lands, from Iberia to Indonesia, uniting peoples, and inspiring the rise of great civilizations. Whether seen through the lens of faith or history, the rise of Islam is one of the most remarkable journeys in our collective past. Its legacy lives on in the 1.9 billion Muslims on earth today. Do you enjoy the history documentary and want to support our work? The only thing we need from you is to subscribe and keep the notification button on. See you in the next video.